Hello everyone, welcome to today's tutorial. I'm Susan and today I'd like to share with you how to crochet this really pretty vintage lace border. I found it in an old crochet book of mine and it is referred to, or it's called the Waterfall border. As you can see, it's just so pretty. It's quite a lengthy project, lots of rounds and rows, etc. So we start off first of all working one of these little floral motifs. The pattern suggests you make as many floral motifs as you need for the length of your project. In fact, you join as you go. So you make your first floral motif and then you join in with your loops here and here for the next motifs. And then you go up onto the heading of the project. That consists of 4 rows, and then you come down to the edging and we work a scalloped edging with all these little lacy loops. Right, so having said all that, let's look at what you might want to use this for. I think it would look really pretty in a country cottage kitchen, edging some shelves, even edging towels. It might even work on the edge of a summer top. But if you can think of any other ideas where it might be useful, do let me know in the comments. So I've used a DK cotton yarn. It's Drops Saffron this, but you can use any yarn you prefer. And I've used a 3mm hook just with this cotton. I think it would look lovely using a size 10 thread with a 1.5mm hook, but I thought just for the tutorial today I would use this style, well, this yarn. Okay, so let's begin with our very first little floral motif, and we'll begin just here. Before I carry on, in the pattern it does say to start with 10 chains and a single slip stitch in your first chain, so it's a 10 chain ring. However, on some of these motifs I've used a magic circle. It doesn't really matter, you just start off however you prefer. Okay, so let's begin, and I will do the timestamp, so if you get stuck and you can't continue doing it all in one go, which I very much doubt you will, do it all in one go. It'll be easy for you to come back to. Right, let's start with our very first little motif. To begin, chain 10. We'll be making a 10 chain ring. Once you have your 10 chains, slip stitch into the first chain you made. To begin round 1, chain 2. The chain 2 don't count as a stitch. And then into the ring, work a total of 24 US double crochets. So those are UK trebles. You might find it helpful to crochet over the tail end of the yarn as you go. And that way you don't have to really weave it in too much at the end. And also if you want to make the ring a little smaller, you can pull on that tail end when you've finished and it'll close the ring a little. And if you notice, I'm working the stitches by working a yarn under. This gives a slightly neater effect to the center of your project. But if you prefer to do your yarn overs, that's absolutely fine too. So when I say yarn under, I mean instead of here yarning over, we yarn under. It just twists the base of the stitch slightly. Now you might need to nudge these stitches around as you go just to make room for them. So if you continue and work a total of 24, I'll meet you at the end of round 1. At the end of round 1, we close with a slip stitch in our first double crochet. We skip the chain 2, those don't count if you remember, so go ahead and just do a little slip stitch in there to close round 1. And if you like, you can pull on the tail end of the yarn to make the ring a little smaller, and then you can go ahead and weave in your end. For round 2, it says in the pattern to chain 1 and then work a single crochet into here. However, I find it much easier to just go ahead straight into the next stitch and work a single crochet. Next, chain 5, skip over the next 2 chains, or 2 stitches I should say, and work a single crochet. And that's created a 5 chain loop. We need a total of 8 5 chain loops to complete round 2. So there's our 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Once again, skip over the next 2 stitches I should say, and work a single crochet into your next stitch. Chain 5 and repeat the sequence all the way round until you have your 8. 2, 4, 5, skip 1, 2, and into the next one a single crochet. So go ahead, complete your 8 5 chain loops, and we'll finish with a slip stitch in our first single crochet. At the end of round 2, you should have your 8 5 chain loops almost. And to complete the 8th 5 chain loop, just slip stitch into that first single crochet you made. And that completes round 2. For round 3, we need to work up this 5 chain loop by slip stitching into the first 3 chains of that loop. And you can go ahead and work. I think it's actually in the pattern, it doesn't tell you to do this, but if you work a single crochet in here, it tends to balance it out a little easier. Next, chain 4, this is to begin round 3. So we chain 4, and in the next 5 chain loop, we work a total of 7 UK triple trebles, US double trebles. So we wrap the yarn around 3 times, and then insert your hook into the next 5 chain loop, bring through a loop, and then work those loops off 2 at a time. And there's your US double treble, UK triple treble crochet. So we need a total of 7. We will need to be nudging these across to the right. So yarn over 3 times, insert your hook. You can either yarn over or yarn under, depending on your preference. As I said earlier, the yarn under does give a slightly neater stitch. So that's 3. Four. 6, and 7. Then you chain 5, and we are going to need to nudge these across, as I said, to this side, because we now need to pop another 7 of these double treble crochets into the same loop. So I'll make these off camera and be back with you in a sec. I'm glad you've been able to see how that can twist round. They're not the easiest of stitches to make, but when you start off and get used to them, you'll be whizzing through them in no time. Right, so I'm just going to make another 7 and I'll be with you in a sec. So that completes the 7. I did this one with you and it was a little twisted, and I did say we need another 7. We didn't, we needed another 6. It's 7 in total, just to make that clear. Right, we're ready to do the next. I'll call these little petals. Right, so we begin again by working 4 chains, and in our next loop we work a single crochet. I think the yarn's just split there. And then chain 4, and now we're going to work the petal again. So we need to work our block of 7 double trebles, UK triples. So I'll go ahead and make the remaining stitches for this little set and meet you in a sec. So here are the 7 completed, and we need to push, or I should say we nudge those round to make room for the next set. But in between the sets we work our 5 chains. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So I'll go ahead and work another set of 7 double trebles. And for my UK viewers, those are your triple trebles, right? Be with you in a sec. So I've completed the next stitches to complete this set, and this is how it's looking. We're going to work into this loop next, and then work our final petal into here, but we only work half of the petal into this one. So we'll go ahead, work our 4 chains, and then a single into the next, and then 4 chains, and then we'll just work the first half of our next petal. So that's a total of 7 triples or US double trebles, whichever you're yarning over 3 times and then working off your stitches. So I'll go ahead and just complete these 7. So this is how it's looking. And next we need to join this petal onto the corresponding petal on this side. We do that by beginning with a chain 2, then just remove your hook, pick up your next petal, and if you look here, there's your 5 chain loop. Find the middle, so it's the 3rd chain, and insert your hook under 2 loops. This prevents it from pulling, and then bring that chain through. Of course, you put the loop back on your hook and then bring that through, and then you complete your chains. So that's 3, 4 and 5, and now you just go ahead and work your next 7 double trebles into the same loop. So you can see the yarn splitting. I'll just undo this. Oh, I am getting in a mess there. Right. I think that's sorted itself now. Right, so I'll go ahead off camera and complete the set of 7. So that's the 7 completed, and to close we chain 4 and then single crochet into the next loop, yarn over, snip your yarn, pull through, and that completes this next petal or the next little motif. So I'll go ahead and weave the end in, and you make as many of these little motifs for however long you would like your piece of lace to be. Okay, so just what I do is, in fact I'll show you how I weave this in just so it looks a little bit neater. So I've thread my needle and I'll turn the work wrong side facing. Then I'll just bring the yarn underneath onto the chains and just give that a little tug and it'll hide that knot. Then we can just weave in down the remainder of the chains. And then you can just hide your yarn underneath these stitches here. Then we just snip the yarn. That's got rid of that little loose end. And that completes the join and the motif. Next we'll look at how to work the heading. To work the heading, first of all start with a slip knot and a loop on your hook, then yarn over 3 times and secure those loops with your finger, then pick up your work right side facing and into the furthest loop to the right, insert your hook, bring your yarn through, and now work a standing double treble crochet like so. If you struggle to do this, just fasten your yarn in and work 5 chains. Now we'll do another double treble crochet into the same loop, and 1 more. So you have a total of 3 double trebles in that far right loop. And this is how it's looking. Next, we're going to work 3 chains and a total of 3 single crochets into this next 4 chain loop here. Chain 3, and single crochet into your next 4 chain loop. Chain 3, and skip over your next little loop here into your next loop here, the 5 chain loop, work 3 single crochets. The pattern is completely different to this, and I've worked it over and over again. However, all that happens is it becomes very, very ruffled, whereas it shouldn't do that. It should lay flat. So I've adapted the pattern slightly. Next, chain 3, and into the next 4 chain loop, we'll skip over this one, into the next one, work 3 single crochets. Chain 3, skip across to the next space over the 7 double treble crochets, and into there work a total of 3 double treble crochets. It does say to place them in the last of the double treble set. However, on the picture it quite clearly shows they've popped them in this little space here, or I should say on the illustration. So next we go and work 3 double trebles in the next space of the next motif. You should be familiar with the double trebles now. Or of course, if we're doing the UK terms, it would be the triple treble. And then we chain 3. Find our next 4 chain space and work 3 single crochets. Chain 3, and in the next 5 chain loop work 3 single crochets. Chain 3, skip this loop in the next 4 chain loop to the right of your set of 7 double trebles, work 3 single crochets. Chain 3, and then repeat your 3 double treble crochets in the space after the set of 7 double trebles. And you continue with this sequence of stitches all the way across the top of your lace. So we'll pause now and I'll just pop the lace down flat so you can see what it should be looking like. Okay, so there we go. Right, so go ahead, work across the remainder of your lace with this set or sequence of stitches, and I'll meet you at the very end when you've done your final 3 single crochets here, we'll work 3 chains, and into this very end loop we'll place 3 double trebles. So I've completed the first row of the top of the heading. Now we need to snip the yarn and just fasten off. We start the second row of the heading with the right side facing again. And we're going to, you can either start with a standing single crochet or just join in like so. So just bring your yarn through, chain 1 and single crochet. There we go. And now you're just going to single crochet all the way across. So single crochet into each of those beginning double trebles, and then into the 3 chain space work 3 single crochets. Single crochet into each of the next 3 single crochets. And you continue this sequence all the way along. So in each space we work 3 single crochets, and then you work a single crochet into the top of the stitches. So here we have another 3 singles. Sorry, we've got our 3, no, well, I don't know, that's wrong, I do apologise. There we go. So we need 3 singles in the space, and then a single in each of the next 3 singles. 3 singles in the next space, and now we've got our 2 sets of 3 double trebles. So over these 6 double trebles we need to place 6 single crochets, and you work this sequence of stitches all the way to the end of the row. So if you just remember, you pop 3 single crochets in every space, and then just a single crochet into each stitch, and that will complete row 2 of your heading. So go ahead, work across, and I'll meet you in a moment. At the end of row 2, there's no need to fasten off, and we can work round 3 or row 3 with the wrong side facing. To begin, chain 2 and turn. The chain 2 count as a first double crochet. Next, work a double crochet into the next stitch, chain 2, and then skip 2. Work a double crochet into each of the next 2 stitches. Chain 2, skip 2, and double crochet into each of the next 2 stitches. Chain 2, skip 2, double crochet into the next stitch and into the next stitch. Chain 2, skip 2, double crochet into the next stitch and into the next one. Continue this sequence of stitches to the end of the row. At the end of row 3, you might find you've got 1 extra stitch. Don't worry, just work an extra double crochet in there. For round 4, chain 1 and turn. Then single crochet in each of the next 3 stitches. And in each 2 chain space, work 2 single crochets. In each of the next 2 stitches, work a single crochet. And in the 2 chain space, work 2 single crochets. A single crochet into each of the next 2 stitches and 2 single crochets into the 2 chain space. So complete row 4 exactly like this, and we'll look at a finished piece of heading at the end of the row. At the end of row 4, work a single crochet into the second of those turning chains. Yarn over, pull through, snip your yarn and pull through, and you can go ahead and weave in some ends. So that completes the heading. Next, we'll start working around these little scallops or petals with our waterfall effect border. For row 1 of the scalloped edging, we just pick up our work and find the first set of 7 double trebles and attach the yarn into the first double treble. I'm starting with a standing single crochet, so I've got a loop and a slip knot on my hook. Just yarn over, pull through, and then yarn over, pull through the 2 loops on your hook. If you find that difficult, just do it any way you feel comfortable. That will be fine. Next, we chain 5. And find the middle double treble, which is the 4th one across, and single crochet into it. Chain 5, and then single crochet into the last double treble of that set. Chain 4, and work into the first double treble of the next set. This is how it's looking. You have 2 5 chain loops sitting on top of this little set here, and then your 4 chains just jumping across this little gap here. Next, we just work 5 chains, and a single crochet into that middle double treble of that set. And this time we don't pop single crochet in the end one. We go ahead and work 5 chains, sorry, it's 4 chains, 1, 2, 3, 4. And now we're going to work 4, I was going to say trebles, it's actually UK trebles, but US double crochets into this next space. As the pattern's written in UK terms, I'm flitting between the two. I think we'd all agree doing that isn't the easiest of tasks. So there are 4 US double crochets and there are 4 UK trebles. Next, chain 5. And place another 4 US double crochets into the same space. And then we just really mirror what we've done on this side, down this side. So chain 4, and skip the first 3 double trebles and single crochet into the next, which is the middle. Chain 5, single crochet into the last double treble, chain 4, single crochet in the next double treble, chain 5, and work into the 4th double treble a single, just check here, 1, 2, 3, no, I've gone into the 3rd one. That's the middle one. Counted this little stitch here, or set of chains. Chain 5, and once again single crochet into the last double treble. Next, we're going to go straight across to the other scallop. So it's kind of like we're working upside down here now. So this is where we started. We've worked down this side. This is the tricky bit here. So think of this little set of double trebles and this set now. We're just going to jump straight across and repeat what we did from here all the way round. We're going to start here and repeat that sequence all the way round. And to get ourselves across there, we just pop a single crochet into that very first double treble. Make sure your stitches are nice and secure. and then just go ahead. Work exactly what you've done on the previous scallop across this one. Just rewind the video as you need to. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then we go into the 1, 2, 3, the fourth, which is the middle one, with our single crochet. Our 5 chains, single into the last one, 4 chains, single into the first double treble, 5 chains, single into the fourth double treble, which is the middle one, and then we do our 4 chains, then 4 double crochets into the next 5 chain space, chain 5, and our remaining 3 double crochets. I know I've shown you one more scallop. I think it's just for those of you who might struggle to wind or reverse, whichever you might call it, back to the other part of the video. So we chain 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, and then skip across to the middle double treble, chain 5, single crochet into the very last double treble, chain 4, skip across that gap, single crochet in the first double treble of the next set, chain 5, single crochet in the middle double treble, and then chain 5 and single crochet into the last double treble, and that's completed another scallop for round 1 of the scallop edging. There we go. Okay, so continue with this to the end of the row 1 for the scallop, and I'll meet you in a few minutes. So we're at the end of row 1. I've completed the final 5 chains, and here's the last double treble, and we'll just single crochet in there, yarn over, pull through, snip your yarn, and then you can just go ahead and weave in the ends. So as in the pattern they like you to have the work right side facing, we start each round afresh, or each row afresh. So for row 2 of the scallop, we come back to the beginning, which is just here, and we're going to work. This is the heading, remember. These are the tips of your scallops, or the base, whichever you prefer to call it. We're now going to join in our yarn to begin row 2. To begin the second row of the scalloped edging, we're going to join into the first 5 chain loop that we made on row 1 of the scalloped edging. I'm going to start with a standing single crochet again, but join in however you prefer. Then chain 5, and single crochet into the next 5 chain loop. Chain 5, and this time single crochet back into the same loop. Chain 5, single crochet into the next space, chain 5, and single crochet back into the same space, chain 5, single crochet into your next 5 chain loop, chain 5, and single crochet back into the same loop, chain 5, single crochet into the next space, chain 5, and single crochet back into the same space, then chain 4 and work 6 double crochets into the next 5 chain space. This is the space that lays between your 4 double crochets, sets of 4 double crochets from the previous round. Might have done one too many there, let's just see. So we need 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. No, that's fine. And then we'd place 5 chains, or work 5 chains, and then another 6 double crochets into the same space. Then chain 4, and single crochet into the next space, chain 5, single crochet into the same space, chain 5, and single crochet into the next 5 chain space, chain 5, single crochet into the same 5 chain space, chain 5, and single crochet into the next space, chain 5, single crochet into the same space, chain 5, single crochet into the next 5 chain space, chain 5, single crochet into the same space, chain 5, and then single crochet into the next 5 chain space, chain 5, and single crochet back into the same space, and that completes row 2 on one of the scallops. And this is how it's looking. It's quite frilly, but it all works out when we get to row 4. Okay, so now we're going to repeat exactly what we've done on this side. So you just go ahead and repeat. I'll just show you how to get across to the next scallop. So just go ahead into here and work a single crochet. Now, I'm glad I stayed with you because I've just realised I've made a mistake, but that's okay. On this last little side, just here, we actually need to end on a single crochet in the last loop. So I'll just pull that back. I'm not going to edit it out. So when you've done your 2 single crochets with your 5 chain space on this side of the last set of 7 double trebles, you just do your 5 chains and end with just 1 single crochet in that last loop on this side, and that means your work won't bunch up where we join. So just come across to the other side and start with a single crochet there, and actually that matches how we started here. We just did 1 single crochet in this first loop and then went on to do our single crochet, chain 5, single crochet. I know it's complicated and a little confusing, but if you just persevere, it'll all fit into place. Right, so go ahead now and work this sequence of stitches that you've done on this side, up here and down. Right, I'll see you at the end of row 2 of the scallop. At the end of round 2 of the scallop, just work a single crochet into that last 5 chain space, yarn over, snip your yarn and pull through to close. So that completes round 2 or row 2. I have pressed these little stitches so you can see them more clearly. Now for round 3, once again we attach our yarn into the first 5 chain loop on the left of our work, right side facing. So just get my yarn. I'm going to start again with a standing single crochet. So we'll insert our hook, yarn over, pull through a loop, yarn over, pull through the 2 loops. Now this time we're going to be skipping over every other loop. So we're going to chain 6, skip over the next loop, and into the next loop work a single crochet, chain 6, one, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, skip a loop, single crochet into the next loop, chain 6, skip a loop, single crochet into the next loop, chain 6, skip a loop and single crochet into the next loop, chain 4 and work 11 double crochets into the 5 chain loop between the double crochets from the previous round. So I'll go ahead and work 11 double crochets off camera and be with you in a moment. So that should be 11 double crochets into the 5 chain space. So 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. I think I've done one too many, so 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, yes. So that's 11. Next, chain 4 and single crochet into the next loop, chain 6, skip over the next loop and single crochet into the next loop, and repeat, chain 6, skip a loop and single crochet into the next loop, chain 6, the yarn's just split there, so I'll start that one again. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and 6. Skip that next loop, single crochet into the next, chain 6 and skip the next loop and single crochet into the next, and that completes round, I think it's round 3 on one of the scallops. That's how it's looking. And then you just do exactly the same on the remaining scallops, or scallops. I'm not quite sure how to say that word, to be honest. I need to look that one up. Right, so here we have our last single crochet in our last chain loop. Just go over to the next side and work a single crochet and repeat what you did on the other scallop. So we start with 6 chains, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, skip a loop and single crochet into the next, and that's how it's looking with the little join. Okay, so continue what you've done here all the way around the remaining scallops to the end of row 3. So we're at the end of round 3, or row 3. This is how it's looking. Done my last 6 chains, and we just work a single crochet into the last loop, yarn over, once again snip your yarn, pull through to close, and then we'll weave in the ends later. So that's how it's looking. Now here I've done 6 chains instead of 4. It is personal preference. If you have a look in the pattern, it does suggest that we use 6. I went ahead and did 4 simply because I thought it looked a little bit neater. But we'll see when we get to the end of the round how it looks when it's just completely finished. Right, so now we're ready to start row 4, which is the final row of the lace. And once again, we're going to start in that very first loop, just there, with a standing single crochet. So I'll just get a slip knot made and the loop on my hook, and we'll start with a standing single crochet beginning row 4 of the scallop edging. Next, chain 5, single crochet into the next 6 chain loop, chain 5, and single crochet back into the same loop, chain 5, single crochet into the next loop, chain 5, and single crochet back into the same loop, chain 5, single crochet into the next loop, chain 5, and single crochet back into the same loop, chain 5, and single crochet in the next loop, chain 5, and single crochet into the same loop. Just have a look. So here we have the little loops. Maybe not very clear. Right. Next, we work a single crochet into each of the next 11 double crochets. So you work that all the way around. Next, single crochet, single crochet, that's correct, into the next space, chain 5, the lace is just slipping off the table there, right, single crochet into the same loop, chain 5, and single crochet into the next loop, chain 5, single crochet into the same loop, then chain 5, and single crochet into the next loop, chain 5, so just 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5, and single crochet into the same loop, chain 5, single crochet into the next loop. I just had to have a little look there where I was up to, chain 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and single crochet into the same loop. And then we chain 5 again, one single crochet into the last loop, just one single crochet into that last loop, and this is how it's looking. So just work down. No, we need to connect these two now, so we'll do a single crochet into this little space opposite on the next scallop. Just single crochet and then chain 5, and then go ahead and single crochet into the next loop, chain 5 and single crochet into the same loop, and you just complete the sequence exactly the same as you did up here on this side. So repeat this all the way around till you get to the end of row 4, which is our final row. So complete round 4 with a single crochet in this final chain loop, then yarn over, pull through, having snipped your yarn of course, and then go ahead and weave in your ends. So now we can just look at the finished lace. I have managed to just press the lace a little because it is very frilly when you first do it because of all the little chain loops and the picots. Whether you work a 4 or a 6 chain here, as we talked about before, doesn't really make a great deal of difference. As you can see, it's just very similar. So there's the completed lace. It is quite a lengthy project, but it's very much worth the effort. So hope you've enjoyed, and I look forward to seeing you on the next video. In the meantime, take care.